Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. And today I am dealing with CBSE 10th Standard Biology first chapter Nutrition. As you know, it is a process of providing or obtaining the food necessary for health and growth. When we eat, walk, or play, or if ride a bicycle, we want energy. Even when we are not doing any apparent activity, that is doing sleeping also, we want energy. So energy is needed to maintain a state of order in our body. So energy is utilized. Energy is needed to maintain a state of order in our body. So for every actions we need energy. And where we will get this energy, or the source of energy, is the food, isn't it? So whether we sleep, whether we walk, whether we sit, whether we draw, we want energy. And this energy is needed to maintain a state of order in our body. We also need materials from outside in order to grow, in order to develop, in order to synthesize protein and other substances needed in the body. The source of energy and materials is the food we eat, isn't it? So the general requirement for energy and materials is common in all organisms, but it is fulfilled with in different ways. Some organisms use simple food materials obtained from inorganic sources like autotrophs, and other organisms utilize complex substances, and these complex substances have to be broken down into simpler ones. So like that, we can classify the organisms into two: autotrophs and heterotrophs. This autotrophs means that is those organisms which utilize simple food materials obtained from inorganic sources in the form of carbon dioxide and water. And examples of autotrophs are green plants and bacteria are the examples. So in the case of autotrophs use simple food materials. They use simple food materials obtained from inorganic sources. The simple food materials are obtained from inorganic substances in the form of carbon dioxide and water. So heterotrophs means other organisms, that is those organisms utilize complex food materials. These heterotrophs use complex food materials, complex substances, and these complex substances have to be broken down into simpler ones. These heterotrophs are utilizing complex substances, so these complex substances have to be broken down into simpler ones before they can be used for upkeep and growth of the body, isn't it? So for energy purpose, we have to broken down the complex food materials into simpler, isn't it? Heterotrophs are utilizing complex food materials, and this complex food materials have to be broken down into simple ones. And for breaking complex into simple, we want some catalyst, and that biocatalyst we can call the enzymes. So to achieve this, that is to break down complex to simple, we utilize biocatalyst, and this biocatalyst we can call enzymes. So enzymes break down complex food materials into simpler one. So thus heterotrophs survival depends directly or indirectly on autotrophs, isn't it? So the heterotroph survival depends directly or indirectly on autotrophs. So two types of organisms are there: autotrophs and heterotrophs. Example for autotrophs are green plants and bacteria, and example for heterotrophs are animals and fungi. So autotrophs use simple food materials, and the simple food materials are converted into starch. So autotrophs use simple food materials in the form of carbon dioxide and water, and they are converted into, from the plant body, they are converted into starch. Actually plants are autotrophs, and heterotrophic organisms utilize complex substances. They utilize complex substances in the presence of enzymes, and these substances are converted into glycogen. So the storage form of heterotrophs are glycogen, and in the case of autotrophs it is starch. So we can go next portion, that is autotrophic nutrition. So this autotrophic nutrition means there is carbon and energy requirement of the autotrophic organisms are fulfilled by photosynthesis. So by means of photosynthesis, that is carbon and energy requirement of the autotrophic organisms are fulfilled by photosynthesis. So photosynthesis is the process by which autotrophs take in substances from outside and convert them into stored forms of energy. We will study in detail in the next section, that portion, autotrophic nutrition. Completely we will study in the next section. And the carbohydrate which are not used immediately are stored in the form of starch, which serve as the internal energy reserve to be used as and when required by the plant. So they are stored in the form of, if there is no energy, if the plant not needed the energy, that energy forms are converted into starch. If the carbohydrates which are not used immediately are stored in the form of starch, which serve as the internal energy reserve. So it is the internal reserve. Starch is the internal reserve. A somewhat similar situation is seen in us, where some of the energy derived from the food we eat is stored in our body in the form of glycogen. So see the formula: 6 carbon dioxide plus 12 water. 6 carbon dioxide is utilizing for photosynthesis. So 6 carbon dioxide plus 12 water, that is converted into C6H12O6 plus 6 CO2, 6 O2 plus 6 CO2. So oxygen is releasing and carbon dioxide is also releasing from autotrophic nutrition. So what are the byproducts? Starch, oxygen and carbon dioxide are the byproduct of autotrophic nutrition. Okay, so C6H12O6 means it is the glucose, C6H12O6, and this glucose is converted into starch in the case of autotrophic nutrition. Okay. So chlorophyll is essential for photosynthesis, and this chlorophyll is very important in the case of photosynthesis. And if you carefully observe the cross section of leaf under a microscope, see, this is the cross section of a leaf, and see, this is the leaf blade. These portions we can call the leaf blade, and this is the midrib. This one, midrib. This one we can call the midrib. And see here, 3 regions are there. Here one portion is there, and here one portion is there, and this is we can call the vascular bundle. That is VB. Vascular bundle means xylem and phloem. And here this portion is expanded here. Only this portion is expanded here, and see, this is the upper epidermis. This is the upper epidermis, and this is the lower epidermis. And small spaces are seen in between the cells, and these cells we can call the air spaces. So these spaces we can call the air spaces, and the small green like structure we can call the chloroplast. So this chloroplast contain the green pigment which is known as chlorophyll. So chlorophyll is essential for photosynthesis, and these are the 3 events taking place in the photosynthesis. The first step is absorption of light energy by chlorophyll. So first step is in the chloroplast, chlorophyll is there. So chlorophyll is present in the chloroplast. Chloroplast is a cell organelle. Chloroplast is a cell organelle, and this chloroplast contains chlorophyll pigment. This chlorophyll is a green pigment. It is present in the cell organelle, which is known as chloroplast. And this chlorophyll convert light energy into chemical energy. This chlorophyll convert light energy into chemical energy. So the first step, absorption of light energy by chlorophyll, and in the second step, conversion of light energy to chemical energy, and splitting of water molecules into hydrogen and oxygen. See, water molecules are splitting into the splitting of water molecule into hydrogen and 2H2 plus O2. water molecule is converted into 2H2 plus O2. So these reactions are taking place in the second event. So in the second event, see the conversion of light energy. Light energy is converted into chemical energy and splitting of water molecule into hydrogen and oxygen. And the third step is reduction of carbon dioxide to carbohydrate. So carbon dioxide is reduced to carbohydrate. So these are the main events of photosynthesis. So stay tuned to my channel. Thank you.